There's a growing sense right now that the AI trade may have already played out, that the easy money is gone. Stocks like Nvidia got the early hype and fast adoption. They jumped 1,000% in the last 3 years. We've seen a lot of spending so far on chips and data centers and power. The question now, though, is how all that spending eventually turns into actual productivity, the kind that shows up in company margins and earnings. We're not there yet. But now is the time to prepare, because when that moment arrives, it's not today's AI names, it's the companies that are positioned to convert AI into measurable output. Those opportunities tend to be less obvious and deeper in the supply chain, or embedded inside businesses that suddenly start doing more with fewer people. Today on Dumb Money, we're exploring what comes next to reveal the real AI trade in 2026.
This is Dumb Money Live.
Hey there, Dave here, along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to Dumb Money Live. Quick reminder, if you don't mind, help feed our AI overlords the almighty algorithm. Smash the like button, like the smash button. Chris, Jordan, it's our first show. It's January 18th, 16th, 18th. What day is it? It's the 16th. And we're doing our first show of 2026. So our schedule has been very, very relaxed. There's so much going on in the world, and yet we can't get our act together and put on a Dumb Money.
Can we just say what it is? We're officially semi-retired. Okay, we knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
I've been semi-retired for years. I've been semi-retired since way before we started doing these shows.
I am so off my game. Last year was insane, guys. It was I just handed over the last 3 years of my trading account statements and all my trades to Jack Schwager, who said he was willing to update my audit through the end of 2025. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think last year might have been the best year of my trading career in terms of account performance. But I'll tell you,
even without trading, last year was pretty great. Like if you're just buy the ETF and hold the S&P 500, it was a great year.
No, I don't think you know what I'm saying. I
know.
It was
how much did you outperform the market last year? That's the question we all want to know.
What did the S&P do last year, roughly? Do you have that?
Yeah, it did roughly like 17%, I think. Let me just check. 16.41% with an additional percentage and a half of dividends.
I think
so
maybe
17.84%.
Somewhere between 15 and 20 times the S&P is what I did last year. Maybe. I don't even know. That's
why you need a third party to audit you for inclusion in the update to Jack Schwager's book. Which one? Market Wizards. Which one were you in?
Unknown Market Wizards. He's doing a new one that comes out this year. That's an extension to that same theme of, self-directed retail investors that have done astonishing things in the market. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Bloom Energy, Bloom Energy wasn't even that big of a trade last year, but it's turning into
it's taken off here in the first couple of weeks of this year.
Okay, so let's just talk about that. My God! By the way, did you guys have a good New Year? Like, what did you do for New Year? Dave, were you in Mexico?
I was in Mexico. Yeah, we celebrated. We're on the West Coast of the West Coast out of the window behind me. So we actually celebrated the New York time zone New Year's with the ball drop, and then went to bed. Like I don't want to be out at midnight.
Jordan, was that similar to what you did?
No, we went skiing. So we were in Colorado over New Year's.
Oh, that's fun, man.
Crested Butte, yeah. The only downside is, was it New Year's Day or New Year's Day? Abigail broke her arm. So.
Oh no, dude, she better now. A little bit.
Well, I mean, she's in a cast.
Yeah. Well, you'll be dealing with that for a few months.
Yeah.
It's just
they said it's a buckle fracture, so technically a break, but not. anything super serious. So she's going to be in a cast for another 3 weeks. After
Is it at least the cool kind of cast that her friends get to sign?
Yeah. So she went to school day one with the cast, and the pants that she was wearing are just covered in Sharpie from where people would like start writing and slip and hit the leg, and so.
I never had. I was
Crazy
always so
comeback.
jealous. I never had a broken arm or anything in school. When that would have been like, you would have been the cool kid who got the cast that everyone could sign.
Yeah, you should have come skiing with us at Crusted Butte because it was icy. You'd had plenty of opportunity to break an arm.
Oh, I hate that.
I'm also retired from skiing. I used to ski every year, at least once a year, and I'm retired from that too.
Well, I had the most appropriate New Year's ever for my trading year and spent it watching the Backstreet Boys at one of my favorite and biggest trades of the year, Sphere in Vegas.
Yes.
Sphere.
Tell you guys something. I saw the Backstreet Boys, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. I think I paid $40 for a ticket, and it was a terrible concert. I don't even think it was worth $40. I paid $1,400 a ticket to see them New Year's Eve at the Sphere with my family, and it actually melted my mind how good it was. Like they actually outperformed $1,400 a ticket. It was the most stunning experience for a concert. Is that me?
For those of you at home wondering what Chris looked like at the Backstreet Boys concert, he dressed like a Backstreet Boy.
Kinda.
White t-shirt and gold chain.
Kinda. Dude,
That is
let me just
exactly
tell you
what I would
something.
guess you would wear to the Backstreet Boys concert.
And can we talk
100%.
about your
By the way, how much
pre-concert
is
dinner?
a Heineken Zero at the Backstreet Boys?
Wait, what?
How much
What?
is a Heineken Zero at the Backstreet Boys?
Oh, I had a
$47.
lot of Heineken Zeros at that concert. No, I think I had a real beer at that. I did. I had at least one real beer at the concert.
Is it $20 a beer? Is it more?
Oh, probably. But it doesn't, dude, Jordan, my expectations for this concert, because Graham Stephan is who told me I had to go. I just had to go. And I was like, really? My expectations were so high. It was supposed to be so good. Everyone said it was so good. I was like, there's no way it's going to be this good, but my expectations are, it actually exceeded those expectations. The stage lifted like, I don't know, hundreds of feet in the air, and they performed for half an hour. Like, dude, there is something very special happening at Sphere right now. And we've said it over and over again, they have cracked the code on experiential entertainment. They didn't do it at first, but now they did. And I'm telling you, this is the beginning of something really big. I exited my Sphere position. I might just have to get back in. Honestly.
Oh no, you did?
I'm fully exited, but I might just have to get back in. I think that what is happening there is outrageous. And they have
They're
at
up.
least 10,
When did you
10 to
exit? Because in the
15
last 3 months, they're up another 60+%.
I know, it's disgusting. But on a positive note, you know what I am not out of? If you go back about 1 month, I think it was December 17th, that the entire world came down on AI like it tends to do every few months, and Oracle was going out of business, right? And you know, who is Bloom Energy's biggest customer, first hyperscaler? Oracle. So Bloom dropped from like, I don't know, 140-ish to $77 a share. It basically got cut in half. All right. And what have we talked about year after year on this channel? When a stock that you have a strong thesis on, a high conviction thesis on, drops, but the thesis remains, what do? You close your eyes and you double down.
Yeah.
You double down, because you can't get scared out of your own research. Now, if the information did change and your thesis fell apart, then fine, exit. But there was nothing that led me to believe that anything had changed on Bloom Energy. This is just the market getting nervous. around a high beta name that was associated with another company that had a fall off. It was outrageous, guys. So do you know what I did? It was so scary because my balloon position was monstrously big when that drop happened. So my account got hit hard. Okay. But I said, I don't care. I do not care. Nothing has changed. I'm doubling down on Bloom at 77 or $78. It was literally at the all-time. It was at the low when it hit. I tweeted it out. I actually
I
put
saw
a tweet out that day. And then I did it again the next day. I said, I don't care. I'm doubling down. As scary as this seems, at 77, 78. And this is, guys, this is crazy. It hasn't even been a month. And sure enough, Bloom is back to $146. It's doubled, guys. Bloom Energy has doubled in the last three and a half weeks since I put that tweet out. If you want to understand like how you are able as a retail investor to generate outsized returns, how do you generate 70% annualized returns, 100%, 150%? This is how you do it. You do it by making moves that are high conviction, that go against the grain at the scariest of times. And truthfully, I added some options back then too on Bloom, but I should have gone even deeper. Okay. Yeah. I should have gone even deeper. Like, you know, you always look back and you go, why didn't I just I should have made.
Yeah. Your thesis didn't change.
Yeah. I went heavy. I always look back at these situations and go, I should have gone back. Even, I mean, it was insane for that stock to drop in half. Insane. And now it's fully recovered.
So can we talk about another one that is an energy play that didn't go as well, and where you stand on that? Did you you doubled down? Are you considering doing something? Of course, I'm talking about TAC. We did an episode about that.
Yeah.
TransAlta Corp.
We should talk about it because let me just
because even in our group chat, that one keeps coming up. Like, yeah, Bloom's doing great, but what about TAC?
Let's talk about TAC. Let's talk about why TAC is down. And for those of y'all that haven't been watching our episodes on TransAlta this last year, I think I got in at about $14 a share and it ran to 18 and change or higher. It is the Alberta energy company that is poised to be a primary beneficiary of data centers moving to Canada. In Alberta specifically. So nothing really has changed on that thesis. What has changed is that Alberta energy prices have been really weak, primarily due to an abnormally warm winter in Canada. Okay, guys? So at the end of the day, that's their primary business. It has nothing to do with the AI thesis that wanted me to invest in TAC. But it is still a big temporary negative for the company. So they also had a CEO transition that was kind of expected, but still it presents a little bit of concern in the market when a company is going through a big transition like that. The AI data center, everybody knows that it's potentially happening. A deal is in the works, but that deal got pushed a quarter. Okay. So that made everyone a little bit nervous. So it's just kind of like relatively bad news with a little bit of an unknown. And that's what's brought TAC down. That said, has my thesis changed on TAC? No, it has not. And because of that, I'm going to go in right now and practically double down my position. I should do these things before we have a show, right?
It's literally, you probably hadn't really thought about how far TAC has fallen, how your thesis hasn't changed.
I had not.
It takes me asking the question for you to make a move here.
This is, And by the way, the worst part about today's show that I just realized is that one of the other new AI trades that we're going to surface on today's show, I had a plan to go in this morning and to buy the stock. And guess what I forgot to do? I did not buy the stock. And I can no longer do that because the stock is foreign. The market closes at 12 o'clock our time. I think our show is going to be going close to that. I actually am trying to convert money into yen right now on my Schwab account to make that trade, but it won't let me because it has a cap on how much money I can convert into yen. And so I have to call Schwab. And I that would be really rude for me to do mid-episode. So we're going to
What are
talk
you talking about? You've done it before. This would not be the first time you literally called Schwab during a show. Remember 2020?
Oh my God. I'm losing my freaking mind, guys. I'm losing my mind. We hadn't done a show in like weeks and weeks. I do have a couple people from the community that I really love that I finally cracked and said, you know what, guys, I'm not doing the work I should be doing for the community in terms of pulling data. And they have agreed to pull data for me. So they are working inside of my data accounts. As you guys know, I subscribe to a lot of institutionalized data, but it takes a tremendous amount of time to go through the data pulls to see if there's anything interesting happening. And so I have a couple people from the Dumb Money community that are now my data analyst. And you know, when they find something interesting, they're sharing it with me. I'll dive into it. We'll share it with the community as always. But they know who they are, and I wanted to publicly thank them here. So, oh, by the way, on that note, I need a few more days, and I know this is crazy. Normally, I have my holiday season retail trades out by now. I still need a few more days to get through the data.
I mean, it's gonna be February before you get to that.
No. What I wanted to ask you is, can we do a show early to mid next week, just talking about before the holiday earnings come out, because they're going to start coming out quickly.
Yeah, let's do it. Maybe Tuesday.
I would love to do that. Okay, so let's just talk before I talk. All right, let's talk about the new stock. Okay, let's talk about the new stock. Hold on, I gotta go back to my notes here. All right. All right. So as you said, Dave, everyone, when they talk about the AI trade, they're talking about NVIDIA, AMD, the hyperscalers, but no one's talking about, or very few people.
And even down the chain, down to like the memory, like the SanDisks and that sort of thing. Like all of these like tech chip-based, you know, rooms to plug things in, the power coming into those rooms, like all of that has been the hype cycle.
Yes, and that was
find why out what's going to be the next big thing.
Bloom Energy was one of our biggest trades, right, of the last half of last year going into 2026, and it remains one of our largest trades. In fact, it's about to become my number one position, just organically because of how it's grown my account. But it's the boring stuff underneath the chips, which I think is where maybe some opportunities still exist. So there's this company called Nittobo out of Japan. And I just want to first give credit to our buddy Jianshu, who originally brought us Bloom. And he's working on a number of these more obscure materials trades. And Nittobo is one of them that he surfaced for me recently. It's a picks and shovels trade on AI servers. They don't make chips. What they make is specialty glass cloth that sits inside the advanced like semiconductor packages and AI server boards. Okay. Now here's what's fascinating. These guys, Nittobo, they control almost 90% global share. Okay. In the low thermal expansion glass cloth that they use in these semiconductor packages. And for a lot of the packages, they are actually the only global supplier, okay? But why does this matter so much? So if you've been following NVIDIA and you understand the consequences of like Rubin, which is their next generation chipset and architecture, as the chips are getting bigger, they're getting hotter and they're getting faster, okay? So the substrate that's holding them together becomes the bottleneck. So if that substrate warps even a tiny little bit, okay, basically the yield is going to collapse on the chipset. So Nittobo's glass is engineered to expand like silicon, okay? And it keeps the GPU and the ASIC packages stable, which is really, really important. In fact, there was an article that Jianshu shared with us this morning. I don't know if you saw it, where Jensen actually went and visited this tiny $3 billion company in Japan. Why? Because what they do is so incredibly important, because it could theoretically be a bottleneck to NVIDIA, right? And so he actually visited the company. So NVIDIA wants bigger, faster AI chips, obviously, but they want chips that don't crack and chips that don't misalign. And this is why the glass matters. And so what Nittobo is so good at is making this glass so that it's unbelievably smooth, because the smoother the glass, the more efficiently and better it can transmit, right? Electricity and all the everything that goes inside that makes the chip work, okay? Now, the problem is that their glass it's become so smooth and so efficient for these next generation chips that it presents an issue of delamination, because when you have something that has no roughness to it, the layers don't bind, okay? They start to delaminate. So they have developed some type of proprietary chemical process to allow this ultra, like the smoothest surface ever, to basically be able to bind and not delaminate. So there is a degree of a moat here, a barrier to entry with their technology. Now, to be very clear, the risk factor here is that there are a lot of competitors that understand this and are all trying to also develop their own form of material that is this like kind of thin, flat copper type material that can be utilized in these chipsets. So there's potential competition coming online over the next 2 to 5 years. Does that bother me? No, because even at Nittobo, it's taking them, I think, the next 3 years, they're planning to double their capacity. So if the company that controls 90% of the supply chain, that has all the proprietary technology, and they have the ability to deliver product at scale that meets that threshold, which is really important because the yields of the product have to be dependable. If you're going to spend billions, if not tens of billions or hundreds of billions of dollars on these chips, you need to make sure that you have a reliable material, right? So you can't just throw money at a newcomer that's untested. But if it's taking Nittobo 3 years to double their capacity. So even if we do have newcomers coming into the space over the next 3 years, my thesis is that it will take them a meaningful amount of time to, one, prove to the industry that their material is not only just as good, but is just as consistently good in terms of its yield. And then it's going to take them a meaningful amount of time to start to scale that product, okay? So I think Nittobo is actually one of the great companies in this space of the supply chain as chips become more powerful over the next 5 years.
Okay, two
And
questions.
yeah.
You've mentioned having to transfer money, foreign currency transaction. People are asking what the ticker symbol is for this. There is no ticker symbol. It's like some symbol that I can't type into my computer, and I can't find a number for it, and I can't find an ADR in the US to invest in. So how are you investing in this?
This is what's so insane about what we do at Dumb Money. And we've been doing this crap for 8 years now, okay? Like every other financial YouTuber does sponsorships, they have courses, and I hate to say it, there are a lot of guys out there that will pump stocks and then they'll exit the stocks. I'm not even in this stock yet because I forgot to buy it. And it's Friday. So I'm probably not going to get to buy this stock until Sunday night when the Japanese market opens up again. I mean, maybe I'll buy it. Maybe we can end the show in the next 15 minutes. I can get on the phone with Schwab and get this stock bought. But I don't even know the symbol. It's Nittobo. I mean, I
like literally I've searched for the word in my quote app. I can't find it. I don't know that it exists. There are other things that have like Nittobo looking words, but like it has a different last
AI.
2 letters or something.
Just okay.
Ask AI. So my next question, also from the audience, is there a there have to be other people working on this. You've said that other people are working on this. Is there a company in the US like a Dow Corning that is doing something similar? And how is Nittobo different than what is being done at companies that are easier for me to invest in? Because I'm going to tell you right now, the last thing I'm going to do is put money back into Schwab and do a money transfer and all of that. If there was an ADR, I'd be interested.
What?
It looks like there might be an ADR. People are mentioning an ADR in the chat. Nittobo. I don't know if it's the same company. We need to double check.
I think it is. I think it is.
It probably is. Yeah.
I don't invest in any of those ADRs because they tend to not. I don't trust them. They're not necessarily. It's when they're of these small companies. It's only a $3 billion company in Japan. I just don't trust it. It doesn't necessarily track. Especially during volatile times. There's no way I'm putting money in a small, tiny, illiquid ADR of a small Japanese company. Dave, it's not that hard. This is where Schwab is great. Like, all you have to do is basically take US dollars, transfer it into yen inside of your Schwab global account, and then trade it like any other stock. It costs like nothing to trade. Once you do that, the most expensive part is the currency transfer. The currency transfer actually is annoyingly expensive. It could cost up to like 1% commission, which is ridiculous. Yeah. That's where Schwab gets you. But guys, I think it's really important to have a global account. So that you can do trades like this. It doesn't cost money. You just call up Schwab and be like, I want a global account.
I have a global account. I'm ready to do it. It just needs to be so compelling, and I'm not sure that this one is compelling enough for me to take all these.
It's not that this is a high. Listen,
what is your conviction level on this?
Okay, let's call it medium conviction because the stock is already traded up. If you look at the graph,
the ADR is up 30% today.
Yeah, it's already traded up. The PE I think is like 18, guys. I think it's at like an 18 PE. Okay, so
that's very reasonable.
Yeah, 18 to 19 forward earnings. That's forward earnings. So there's some other risk factors here. Another risk factor is that AI server demand slows. That's not happening, right? We know that.
These guys are spending. I mean, that's one thing that we just saw that note that came out from Zuck. I mean, they're continuing to spend.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that risk.
Right.
There's another risk that competition shows up. Like I said, there's a lot of competition here, Dave. The competition is Taiwanese and Japanese generally, okay? Because the technology to produce this flat of a material is so exceptionally difficult, Dave. This is not what you're thinking of when you just think of Corning type glass. This is why they own like 90% of the market share for this degree of smoothness in the material. The other risk factor, which I'm not concerned about, but Jianshu called this out to me, is there's this kind of thought that Japanese companies historically are very conservative when it comes to price increases. Now, they are supposed to be increasing their pricing on this material, but they don't fully take advantage of the demand-supply imbalance because they're too polite. Okay, they're too polite. So it's not a risk, but it's a risk of their ability to fully monetize the supply demand imbalance, where an American company would just give it to you. A Japanese company is not going to want to do that to its relationships.
Eventually, they will jump in with the price,
Yeah,
but
they
they're
will.
very slow to be aggressive with pricing. And I do want to pull up. We have had people showing what this ADR ticker is. This ADR, I only have data going back 5 days. I don't know if it just was created five
Not even
days
5
ago.
days. If you look at the axis, it's all today.
Yeah, there's nothing going on.
Wait, it's all yeah. The guys, be careful. Like I said, we are not financial advisors. This is literally just an idea. You guys should spend the weekend vetting the idea, researching the idea, poking holes in the idea, and then figure out, does it meet the risk reward for your portfolio? Talk to your money manager or whatever, your wealth manager.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, it's just an idea. Don't just like see it on the show and start buying this random company. That's
Also, I
Especially a
personally
random
don't put real
ADR
money
of a
in
random company.
thinly traded ADRs like that. You know, a small amount, like if it's just a small trade, maybe, but not real money.
Agreed. By the way, we need to talk about something very important that our community desperately wants us to talk about, and I do have a trade related to it. Okay, so everyone's talking about Claude 4.5 Opus and the new Anthropic product, Claude Cowork, which is one of the biggest breakthroughs in agentic AI. Agentic AI is the thing that we have been waiting for 2 years. This is the thing that is going to be the biggest thing that we've seen yet in AI. This is the thing that is likely to power the next super cycle of AI use and productivity and commercialized efficiency globally, that I think is just so unbelievably exciting. People just cannot wrap their heads around how big this is going to be. Now, Jordan,
you know what's
have you
funny
heard the
about
buzz?
that, Chris? You know what's funny? So I've got a few perspectives on it, but one that so I was listening to a podcast where one of the guys that's over that product was talking, and for how big of a leap that people are making it out to be, the first version they released in a week and a half. And the reason that they're able to do that is that they've got so much to build on, right? And I think what a lot of people didn't realize is how powerful Claude Code was. I mean, developers have, right? Developers have known it for quite a while, but people that aren't developers haven't really been able to see how these things can actually interact with file systems, interact with multiple documents like this, hit the internet, compile information. I mean, it's insanely powerful, but really, it's just a revision on top of. It's like a UI revision on top of Claude Code. At least that's how it started.
Okay, and by the way, Dave, I just sent you a picture from one of our community members. He sent this to me last night. It's from the Claude Code meetup in Seattle. He said it was absolutely packed and incredibly boring. He said cursor is toast. It won the developer. So there's something happening here. And Jordan, I think it's not even just about Claude and Anthropic. It's just yet another piece of evidence of how real this is, right? And just another signal.
Yeah, well, I think what's interesting about it is that a lot of people, their impression of AI is just, okay, well, you type things into the chat prompt, you get a response back, and it's, maybe it can go hit the internet, and that's great. But people haven't really thought about it as far as like interacting with all the documents that they have, or interacting with your email client, or doing, all of these tasks for you. Developers have been doing this for quite a while now, but I think this opens that up to the general public, to where they can actually see some of the, real workflow advantages that, that AI can offer.
I totally agree, and everyone kind of wants a trade on this. I would say this is generally supportive of the entire AI ecosystem trade. It makes me even more psyched about my Bloom Energy trade, and even going back to TAC, which I just bought more of today at $12 a share.
Yeah.
But Amazon, okay? For those of y'all that don't know, AWS is Anthropic's primary cloud provider and their primary training partner, okay? So Anthropic trains and runs the Claude models on AWS using a lot of those Amazon custom chips, okay? The Trainium chips and a lot of the related services there. So, Claude has been widely available through AWS Bedrock and the AWS Marketplace. Jordan, that's your world, right? You sit in the middle of that. Would you agree they're kind of like the go-to place, have been historically, for Anthropic and Claude? So, Amazon claimed that Anthropic will use hundreds of thousands to over 1 million Trainium 2 chips on AWS for model training and run workloads. So this new product that Anthropic is putting out is going to be going out wide, Jordan, right? Over the course of the next month or two, and is likely to get more buzz. It's likely to be a tailwind for Anthropic generally, allowing them to raise more capital, which means Anthropic will have more money, not just in terms of investment dollars, but based on the monetization that they're now getting from all these developers and all these services, to spend more money with Amazon. And so I think people are going to connect the dots pretty quickly back to Amazon. And again, Amazon is a silent beast here in the AI world that hasn't really run hard yet on AI. So Amazon is my trade on this new.
But that's what I love about Amazon. They don't have to run hard on AI as long as the guys that are running hard build on top of AWS. I mean, that's all that has to happen.
Yeah,
and it is happening.
Well, and that's we're looking for things that are different, that aren't the same 7 big stocks. But the reality is, it kind of all comes back to them. Amazon is going to be a beneficiary of Claude. Google is going to be a beneficiary because they have a decade of your data. They've read every email you've ever sent. They know every search you've ever made. So for your personal assistant, Gemini has an upside. We have Tesla has its kind of built-in backdoor to XAI. Like all of these kind of get funneled back into the big companies. Yep. Which is why those are going to continue to be the top of my portfolio and represent an outsized portion of my holdings.
I couldn't agree more, Dave. And like I said, I think it is important to have a balance between material suppliers that are maybe a bit more obscure, maybe a bit more out of reach for investors. So there's, a longer window to get into them, like some of these Japanese companies, like the one we talked about today. And also some of the primary beneficiaries that are more widely traded, the Bloom Energy. By the way, there was another YouTuber yesterday, I think, or this week, Jianshu sent that to us, who went all in on Bloom Energy in his episode a couple of days ago. He follows us, so I wonder the degree to which he was influenced to do his research into Bloom based on all the episodes we've done the last few months. But I agree, there's still a tremendous amount of opportunity in AI. Tremendous amount of opportunity. And we haven't even started talking about the kind of, second tier beneficiaries of AI once we start seeing the commercialization of the technology actually generating value, real meaningful value for end clients. I have always said, I think the biggest beneficiary of AI and automation will ultimately be Amazon, right? And that hasn't really started yet. I know companies have come out and said, hey, we're doing this much of our code, utilizing AI, but you haven't really seen it show up in the numbers yet. I think at some point in 2026 or early 2027, we are going to start to see AI show up in the numbers of cost savings as well as productivity, and in addition to increases in revenue due to new services that are being AI driven. When that happens, I think that's actually going to be the biggest moment in AI. I think that will be the pinnacle moment when the entire financial world fully folds into AI, and we could see a meaningful run across the entire AI sector. That moment is ahead of us. Is it 6 months, 12 months, 18 months? I don't know. But I love knowing that that moment is still ahead of us. And that's why we're still early cycle in this super AI cycle. And I'm just as excited about some of these AI names today as I was a year ago. And
So we have to do two pieces of housekeeping here. First, Chris,
Yeah.
I noticed you have not reposted this live stream on X yet.
I haven't reposted what?
You didn't
Oh,
post the
shit.
stream on X. That's
Oh, man,
that's
you
the
gotta
one
be
job
kidding
you
me.
have in the
I
production of
am
this show.
so off my game in every
I mean, we haven't done a show in
single
like a
regard.
month, so it's hard to really blame you for forgetting because I kind of forgot how to set up the system on my end, and I'm in my remote studio.
Oh, man, I cannot
So
believe I didn't do that.
you must do
All
that.
right,
And
reposted.
second, I think you still have 18 minutes to place a trade in Japan if you can get on the phone with Schwab fast enough.
I
I kind of want to see this happen in real time
Oh.
on our show.
Well, I can't do it. No, you think I'm going to talk about like validate my account number on our live show? Which
Don't they just know you by your caller ID?
No, I'm an idiot. I'm not that big of an idiot. Okay, so
Yeah, I think I showed my my password to my Schwab account at one point in a show long ago, and so I had to talk to the Schwab team to not only change the password but add extra security to my account.
So I am doing something, guys, that I have some really big news to share with the community. I can't share it yet. I have one potentially monstrously big piece of news that hopefully in the next 60 days I'll get to share with the community, about something I've been working on in my private business life. And then I have another piece of big news. I am working on something that is so freaking insane and crazy that even most of my good friends that know about it think I'm out of my mind. Okay. But I don't care. I'm doing this and it is awesome. And I think it might even be a way, I think I might be able to pull the whole damn dumb money community into this idea. So I'm just teasing it today.
I'm trying to think which idea this is. Do I know this idea?
I don't even know.
You always have a lot of crazy ideas.
This one is nuts. Okay. This one is nuts. But this is why my brain has been like off track the last month. Because
does it at least have a name, this project? Because if you say it on the air, then we have the trademark validation of a historical time.
I don't have a name yet. I don't even have a name yet. But I also need to get off this show because I have to do something for that. But no, I do want to try to make this trade right now. So can we end? Wait, what is this?
They're guessing what it might be, and it's either a cat girl or an AI girlfriend, both of which seem right up your alley.
Oh my gosh. No, neither of those two things. This is something fun though. So all right, can I try to get in this stupid Japanese company that we've been talking about for the last 30 minutes?
Yes.
Because like it's gonna bother me all weekend if I'm not in it.
Yes. Let's wrap up. You can get on the phone and try to make a trade, and you need to follow at Chris Camillo on X because you need to post so that the community knows whether or not you actually were able to get the trade in.
I will. I will post it. I promise, guys. I'll post
and then
it.
also use our Dumb Money Discord, which is absolutely free. dumbmoney.tv/Discord to find that Discord server. And that's where like all of the research and discussion happens. But I think you need to get a quick alert out there whether or not you actually get into the trade. Now he's calling Schwab. All right. So should we wrap it here?
Let's wrap.
Yeah.
Let's wrap.
All right.
Well,
That's
we'll be
going to
back
do it for
next
this
week
one.
to talk about
Thank you, guys.
retail holiday trades
Next week,
for earning.
right
Yeah,
here
next week.
on Dumb Money Live. Thanks for watching. We'll